and welcome to Part of Love with Colt and Ang. I'm Ang.
And I'm Colt, and this is the place that we created to talk about all things love and help you find the love you deserve.
So before we begin, here's all the YouTube things. Like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. We love when people join the community, and we have some really big things coming up, so you got here just in time.
Okay, so today you are here for a reason. You want to know how to make a long distance relationship work.
And we are gonna help you do just that. So Colt and I have been together for about 11 plus years, and about a third of those years, we've done long distance.
That's crazy.
I know.
Now, we're both performers, and so our jobs have taken us around the country and around the world for long periods of time. So I promise we know what is up, and we are here to help you make your long distance relationship work.
Before we dive into how to make your long distance relationship work, we have to ask you the most important question, right?
Yeah, no, this is a good one. This is very, very important. Ready? Drum roll. Don't even need sound effects. It's amazing. Okay, the most important question you should be asking yourself before going any further in this video is your relationship even worth doing long distance? Like, do you really want to do it?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, it's, I mean, a very important one.
So we covered this in our episode, Should We Do Long Distance? And if you haven't watched it, you should check it out right here, because doing long distance in any relationship is a huge commitment of your time and emotions. It takes a ton of hard work and patience. And so we really want you to ask yourself, is this worth it? Do we have the same end goal? And are we both committed to doing the work?
So if the answer is no, then no need to watch any further. Go out there, live your life, go date around, and find the love you deserve. But if the answer is yes, you're in the right place. So keep watching.
Okay, so you and your partner have both decided that your relationship means so much to you that you're gonna do this long distance. And even though you've heard all the dramatic tales of long distance relationships past, you're determined to make this work. That's such good news! Okay, but take it from two people that have successfully made it work through some very distant times. We hit a ton of bumps on the road, possibly some major boulders sometimes, but eventually we figured it out. So today we're gonna be giving you some amazing tips and tools to help you navigate your long distance relationship successfully.
We're gonna talk about three major things. One, how planning is the key to success in a long distance relationship. Two, how the dynamic duo of communication and patience is the only way through.
And three, our favorite, how to make the most out of your long distance dates.
See, the goal of a long distance relationship isn't just to get through it and survive the time. As cliche as it sounds, it really is to thrive in that time. All the things that make a relationship great are also going to apply in your long distance relationship. They're just gonna be, you know, a little bit more to it.
Your relationship can still grow in the most amazing and intimate ways, even though you're not physically together. Just takes a little more work. Ready?
Oh, I'm ready. I've been planning for this for a while. Get it? Because that's the first part. Here we go.
So number one, planning ahead is key. So when Colt was on tour with Pink, he was not only so busy and like working around the clock, he was across the world, you guys, like in crazy time zones. Like we thought it was hard in the US leg of the tour, but we had never, I promise you, experienced anything like Australia. One of us being in New York and the other one being all the way in Oz was cuckoo bananas. Like there's a 14-hour time zone difference. That's crazy.
So when one person is winding down for bed, the other one's just getting up. And to steal a phrase from Charles Schulz, it's already tomorrow in Australia. Makes things kind of crazy. Back to you.
So obviously planning became a huge part of our relationship on tour. When you're far apart, the single most important thing you have to do is plan time for each other. And yeah, things are gonna come up and life happens and things are gonna get in the way, but do not assume that you're gonna magically have time together, especially when there's things, you know, life, school, work, whatever. And if you plan out time to spend together, you're doing a couple things for your relationship. One, you're obviously making time for each other and giving yourself the peace of mind that you're not just needlessly drifting apart. And two, you're showing each other love through your actions. By making and creating time for each other, you're actively putting effort into your relationship. And it doesn't happen as easily because you are far apart. But if you really, really want it, planning ahead is gonna be a major part of love.
Okay, next up, we are back to that dynamic duo that I talked about of communication and patience. Now, this seems like an obvious and easy one, but when it's late at night / early in the morning and one of you is tired and the other one's just getting up and has to feed the dogs and take them out, and there's like a bus full of people, or you're out at a party, or you're in a dressing room full of other people, and there's just a lot of things going on. And on top of that, both of you maybe had rough weeks at work or at home and personal stuff. Like, it's just, I promise you, it gets a little tough. And that's okay. No matter how well you follow these steps or how much love you put into your relationship, you are still human, and sometimes it's just gonna feel overwhelming. And it's in those moments that it is so, so important to communicate with each other about what's going on and to be patient with one another. Again, I know it sounds simple, and technically it is, but as we have said so many times on this channel, simple does not mean easy. So, what do you do when you find yourself in one of these emotional pickles? Take a breath, take a step back, and think about what your partner is going through. Think about what they're feeling, and then let them know that. I can tell you from experiences on both sides of this argument that just some basic acknowledgement and recognition of the other person's circumstance, it goes a long way. And what's more is having that patience and communicating with your partner about whatever's going on in these situations, it's just gonna bring you closer together, because now you're building those skills that will make your long distance relationship that much better in the long run. Bonus tip, make sure that if one of you is out at like a gathering or a party or whatever, and the other one is just calling to say good night or good morning or whatever that is, like just a quick little thing, make time for them. Trust me, firsthand experience, make time for them. In that little moment, it will go so, so far. You gotta remember, they're not there with you. They don't know what's going on. They're not engaged in that. So you taking a step back, taking that action and saying, hey, I'm going to give you my full attention for a second. It will go a very long way. So bonus tip, tipped bonus, Lee. That's not right. Here is a quick version of what not to do. Hey, baby. I'm just going to bed and I just wanted to give you a call. Can you hear me, baby? Okay, I hope you're having fun. I love you. I'll talk to you later, okay? Okay, I love you. I'll talk to you later. Good night. Good. Shut up. Now, this does not mean that you shouldn't go out with your friends or go out and have a good time. You absolutely should. You should do those things. But again, just remember that when you're doing that, your person isn't there. So give them a little extra love and save yourself from a needless argument. Okay, so we hit on the planning stage, then we moved on to communication and patience when that inevitably goes sideways. Now, we're on to the fun part.
So the best part, hands down, in a long distance relationship, and the #1 way to make it work is this part.
This is the part where no matter how long you've been together, you get to go back to dating in a good way, all the good stuff, none of the bad stuff.
Hopefully there wasn't too much bad stuff.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully there wasn't too much bad stuff, so that's why you're trying to do this.
Yeah. So this is where you get to figure out how creatively romantic you can be and take some time to think up brand new date ideas. Disclaimer, this will be a trial and error situation.
Yes.
Luckily, we have trialed and errored hundreds of dates. We picked out a couple that are our absolute favorites for you.
#1, FaceTime dates. Okay, so I have no idea how anybody did long distance relationships before, like FaceTime or Skype or Zoom or any of that stuff. I assume like love letters maybe, but that takes a long time to get them in the mail, and there's just like nothing like being with your person. So FaceTime dates are gonna be your bread and butter. They're the first on our list. And we're not talking about just FaceTime calls. We're talking about full-on dates, y'all. I never say y'all, so. we're talking you're gonna pick out your drink and your food of choice and pick a movie, and you're gonna have a full tilt boogie date night. Yeah? It's the best. We made a whole video about this in the early part of 2020 about dating in quarantine. So a lot of that video actually applies to this. You can check it out here. But we're gonna give you a bonus tip today. Bonus tip, use 2 different devices. Why are you laughing at me?
Bonus tip.
It's very exciting. Use 2 different devices to watch your movie and FaceTime. I promise you, we did it, trial and error. It was really frustrating at first because we didn't figure this out, but there's gonna be like extra noise and pausing and trying to, it's a whole thing. Use 2 devices. One to FaceTime and say, hey, pause, or like, didn't you like that part? The other one just to watch the movie. Cool.
And 2, just actual dates, like together, but apart. Now we've done this one a lot too, sometimes without even going anywhere. Sometimes we just take bubble baths and drink together. Bonus tip, be careful how much bubble you put into the bath, because apparently bubble bath is extremely slippery and hilarious. So, you know, just be careful. Let's roll it again, just one more time. It's so good. That'll never get old to me. When you want to go out together but apart, still totally doable. Sometimes Ange and I would go to a chill restaurant like Yard House or Cheesecake Factory, and we would just keep a headphone in each ear and talk to each other. We'd order drinks. It'd be just like we were together, but separate. We're having totally different experiences, but we're eating the same foods, we're doing the same thing we would do together. And this is one of those things that if you've been in a relationship for a long time and you've built like little things and patterns and dates that you love, that if you're in places where you have that, you can do it at the same time, and it's awesome. You can also do this with movies. Don't talk on the phone while you're in the movies though. Super rude. One of the things that I used to love to do is throw that headphone in, and when you're doing like your pregame, whether you go out for a drink like we were just saying at a restaurant, or a little meal before the movie like dinner and a movie, or just when you're like going shopping for your candy, going to Target or, you know, It's Sugar or whatever, you know, place you get your candy, and you're just talking on the phone while you're in there and you're talking about what you're gonna get, and it's actually really, really fun, and it feels super connected. I know it seems like a lot of little things, but those little things add up to making a long distance relationship feel a little less distanced, even when you can't actually be together. So there you have it. This is how we made our long distance relationship work, and how you can too. Now, obviously, there's a lot more that goes into it, and every long distance relationship is gonna be a little bit different. But using these tools is gonna be a roadmap and help you stay closer while you figure out your personal needs. Because when you have to be in a long distance relationship, all these little things like taking time to plan ahead, communicating and having patience with one another, and still having awesome date nights. Yes. These are all a huge part of love. It's really fun. Yeah, yeah. I'm glad we're back together. I like being together better. Yeah. Yeah. But it was fun. I love you too. Okay, thank you so much for checking out today's video. If you are not already subscribed, we would love for you to subscribe. Just click on the little thing wherever it is of the circle with our faces. And there's also some playlists over there I think that you can watch. You should totally check those out. And yeah, let us know if there's anything you want to see in the future. Anything else? Go get 'em! What?